egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Tuesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. It is officially game week for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They kick off the 2024 regular season Sunday, 1 o'clock, Miami, Florida, against the Miami Dolphins. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL radio. You'll also have the debut of the fifth quarter. 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Dolphins go final, the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy, the head coach Dave Campo, and yours truly will have another season of the fifth quarter for you. Certainly looking forward to that. It is the regular season, so that means now every week here on Hacker After Dark, we do a little coaching with Campo. My buddy Dave Campo will stop by in about less than 20 minutes or so to preview Jacksonville and Miami. We'll also take a look back on the training camp and the preseason that was with Dave Campo. We will talk to a former Jacksonville Jaguar tonight as well, and a former proud Boston College Eagle. My buddy Tom McManus. You hear him every Friday on Jaguars Today, the original 55 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tommy will stop by not only to talk Jags, but to give a little love to his alma mater for just absolutely wiping the floor with Florida State last night at Doak Campbell Stadium. So Dave Campo and Tom McManus both coming up within the hour. Later on in the 9 o'clock hour, we will go to Miami. We'll get the Dolphins side of this matchup with Orlando Alzagari. Orlando Alzagari has been a fixture in Miami sports talk for many, many years. He's got the Big O radio show down there. And we will talk Dolphins and mix in a little Hurricane, a little Cam Ward talk with Orlando Alzagari. That comes up towards the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. So we're absolutely loaded. It is going to be a busy week, an abbreviated week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then, of course, we're under the Friday night lights on Friday. So we're jam-packed, and we're certainly glad you are spending part of your Tuesday evening with us. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night, and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
Certainly happy the National Football League regular season starts in less than 48 hours. As a matter of fact, Denmark, you realize what happens tomorrow? The Baltimore Ravens. Oh, yeah, man. They're going to get on an airplane, and they're going to fly to Kansas City tomorrow for the regular season kickoff on Thursday night. Ravens-Chiefs, less than 48 hours away. We will give our NFL division predictions, playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions coming up probably at the very beginning of Thursday night's program. But I'm also happy the NFL season is starting off, obviously, to follow the Jaguars. I'll be in the locker room tomorrow down at the Miller Electric Center, the first open locker room we've had since January. Of course, all our interviews have been done on the field during training camp. We finally get to get back in the locker room tomorrow. Excited about bringing you some one-on-one interviews tomorrow night with some guys here on Hacker After Dark. But maybe more than anything else, and I mean this, more than anything else, I'm excited the NFL regular season's coming back because I don't know if you nor I, as a Florida fan, a Florida State fan, a person in the media that covers the Gators and the Noles, can take what we're going to have to take on Saturday afternoons for the coming months. Yikes. I'll save Florida State for a moment. Let me talk about the Florida Gators. I have defended Billy Napier for quite some time. I've been of the opinion that Florida, you're in this position because you fire coaches too quickly. I've said that many times. You've had 6 coaches in less than 2 decades. That's a problem. I think you fired Will Muschamp potentially too quickly. I think you fired Dan Mullen potentially too quickly. I like Billy Napier. I like the job he's done assembling the football staff. I think he's doing a pretty decent job recruiting. He's done a pretty decent job in the portal. There is a lot to like about Billy Napier, and I've said that many times. And truthfully, some of you have agreed with me. Most of you have not. I've gotten grief on social media about defending Billy Napier. I've got grief from my own circle of friends, Florida Gator alums, about defending Billy Napier. But despite that grief, I stood by my convictions and I've defended the guy. And I still like him, but I can't defend him after Saturday. That was pathetic. You had 8 months from the end of last season, because of course you didn't go to a bowl game, to knowing the importance of this opener, knowing what it meant for you and your program, knowing what it meant for Mario Cristobal and his program. You knew the ramifications. You knew how important this game was in the state. From a perception standpoint, from a recruiting standpoint, you knew all that. And you knew it for 8 months. And you come into your home field, into the swamp, the beloved ground that so many Gator fans have lived and died with over the years, of Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, Florida Field, the swamp in Gainesville, on opening day 2024, a brand new season, playing a rival, knowing the importance. And that is the product that you put out on that field? That was as good as you could deliver? That was pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And there is no excuse for it. There is no defense for it. You got your tail handed to you by a guy in Mario Cristobal that you were hired 8 days in between. Mario Cristobal was hired and Billy Napier was hired between an 8-day mark together in 2021. You're on the same timeline, the same exact timeline. Mario Cristobal was 12-13 in 25 games at Miami, whereas Billy Napier was 11-14. They were the same coach at these two programs. There was no difference. And Miami came into your house and did that to you on opening day? Inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable. I'm not one to fire coaches after a bad loss. I'm not one to pull the plug on a guy. And I've said that repeatedly, that's why I believe Florida is where they are. Because they have too quick a trigger finger when it comes to these coaches. But good heavens, man, that was putrid on Saturday. You did not look like you belonged on that field. It was 41-17. It might as well been 50-3. There was never a game. There was never a competition. You were never going to win that game. Miami was better than you on both sides of the ball. They were more physical than you. They had more playmakers. Their quarterback was leaps and bounds better than your guy. The athletes at wide receiver and running back compared to what Florida has, varsity versus the junior varsity, man. Varsity versus the junior varsity. And Billy Napier, his staff, some would argue the higher-ups in charge, the AD from, there on down, deserve every point of criticism they have gotten over the last 72 hours. That was embarrassing. I was told this story on Sunday. I had an impromptu trip to Walt Disney World. We went down to Food and Wine at Epcot just to kind of clear my head last Sunday before the Jaguars. Wanted to get away from sports after that Gator performance on Saturday. I go down there, and there's Miami shirts, Miami jerseys left and right. I saw more Miami Hurricane attire at Walt Disney World than I've ever seen. and they were chanting, "Go Canes," as loud as you could hear on the streets of Epcot. And right on. Good for them. They came into your house and they spanked you. They have every right to do that. The U. And it was all about the U on Saturday afternoon. They made Gainesville, Canesville. And you know what, Gator fans? There's not a thing you can do about it. You can't say a word about it. Because where this program is, what Billy Napier and his staff have put on that field, the offensive line couldn't block you or I. They have nothing at playmaker besides Eugene Wilson. Absolutely nothing at wide receiver. Montrell Johnson had one 71-yard touchdown run, and then they decided to just not run that play again, which is interesting. Ask Steve Spurrier about that. He made light of that with Pat Dooley. And then, look, Billy, I get you're frustrated, brother. I get that a lot of people have turned on you, and I don't necessarily think I'm turning on you. I'm just PO'd at what I saw. It was, again, putrid. And I get the frustration about people on social media, but absolutely, unequivocally, without a shadow of a doubt, when you're 11-15 at the University of Florida in 26 games, and you just got spanked by Miami on your home field on opening day, you cannot make a lighthearted joke about the rural basement Florida fan in rural Florida ripping you on social media. That did not go over well. Now, if you're 16-9 or 18-7 in 25 games, well, all right then. But you've won 11 times in 26 opportunities. You're 11-15. You know who you are? You're Mississippi State, man. You're Arkansas. You are middle of the pack to below average SEC. That is what you are. Athlon and Lindy's and Phil Steele and ESPN all had you 11th or 12th in the SEC, and they're right. Right on. Absolutely. Out of a 16-team conference, you are considered to be among the 4 or 5 worst teams. And after what I saw Saturday, how can you say Florida's not the worst right now? A&M battled Notre Dame. LSU battled USC. Florida rolled over and died against Miami. Just rolled over and died. It was, I have to eat crow because of Billy Napier and that staff. I've been defending you guys. I've been the one saying, no, pump the brakes. I like Billy. He's doing a good job. Give it time. You're firing coaches too quickly. Man, I got to reevaluate my thoughts there. I've had to eat crow for 72 hours. Me saying that makes me look bad. It embarrasses me because of the product you put out on that field on Saturday. Awful. Quickly to Florida State. What do you say? They can't stop the run. They can't run the football. They're not trying to run the football. Their quarterback's not any good. I heard so much about this Florida State defensive line. They're terrible. Georgia Tech and Boston College have done whatever they wanted to do to you. Awful. And you don't try to run the football. Why are you bringing in all these running backs? Why did you convince Toafili to come back? How on earth did you get Roydell Williams to come to Tallahassee? You don't give him the ball. You're panicking with 11 minutes to go in the third quarter, down 8, going for it on 4th down from your own territory. That is a panic move last night by Mike Norvell. Complete panic. And I got Florida State people texting me now saying, was it Jordan Travis all along? Look at Norvell's record when Jordan Travis isn't his quarterback. I'm more confident that Florida State's going to fix it than Florida because Florida State's got an easier schedule, but it's not that much easier. I mean, they have road games at Miami and at Notre Dame. Hello. They have to play an upset Clemson team in a couple of weeks. I think North Carolina's on that schedule. NC State, I believe, is on that schedule. You got to go to SMU. Florida State doesn't figure that out pretty quick. It's the basic fundamentals of football. I don't care how many 4 and 5 stars you have. I don't care how good you do in the portal. Basic fundamentals of football. Run the football, stop the run. And if you can't do that, you're not going to win. And right now, Florida State can't do either. And the only silver lining for both, which again is pathetic, If you're a Gator fan, it's okay to be terrible because at least Florida State's terrible with you. And on the flip side, if you're Florida State, well, it's okay to be 0-2 because the Gators got boat raced at home. You know who's laughing all the way to the bank right now? You know who controls this state? The U. The Miami Hurricanes control the state of Florida right now. And it's not even close. Wait till Florida State has to go to Coral Gables. All the beatings that Florida State has given Miami in the last couple of years. Wait what Cristobal and Cam Ward and the Hurricanes do to Florida State later in the year. Whew. Same thing like they just did to Florida. So the victors go the spoils, man, and the U absolutely controls this state. More college talk coming up. Tom McManus was in Doak Campbell Stadium last night. A proud Boston College alum. We'll talk about that game. We'll certainly talk about the Jaguars as well with Tom McManus. Also, Orlando Alzagari down in Miami. We'll talk a little bit about Cam Ward, Mario Cristobal, and the Hurricanes. Certainly dive into the Miami Dolphins side of things with Orlando Alzagari. But coming up next, we are 5 days away. 5 days away from the Jaguars kicking off their 2024 campaign. We always love a little coaching with Campo. Here on Hacker After Dark, you'll get the coach every week for the next 4.5 months. We kick it off tonight. My buddy Dave Campo, as we preview Miami and Jacksonville. That's next. Tuesday night, Hacker After Dark, 1010 XL and 92.5 FM.
They may not make a lot of plays.
Good snap. Good hole.
But sometimes they make the most important play.
One of the best kickers in the league year in and year out.
Listen for the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game on 1010 XL.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. You know, I just saw E.T. for the first time in a few months. I haven't seen E.T. in a while. He walks back in one of the offices here at 1010 XL World Headquarters. He says, Hack, my goodness, man. Feels good to hear that. I wasn't hearing that for a long time. When I was 317 pounds, I was hearing my goodness, but in a much more negative connotation. And since February 20th, when I weighed 317, I got on Awaken 180 weight loss, I now weigh 223. I'm down 94 pounds since February 20th. And it's all thanks to the best weight loss program I've ever been on. Awaken 180. If you need to lose weight, whether it's 10, 20, 30 pounds, or if you need to lose a ton of weight like I had to, take it from a guy who's lost 94 pounds on Awaken 180. They can help you. They can save your life, man. It's Awaken 180 weight loss.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision and equal opportunity employer.
It's the best time of the year again. It's football season, and with football season here, fantasy football has arrived. And forget the season-long leagues. Underdog Fantasy and the Underdog Fantasy app is the way to go. I've been playing it now for almost a year, and it is just suits me to a T. First of all, it's simple, right? Just choose higher or lower on statistical projections or compete against others in player v. player fantasy games. Either way, there's so many options. There's research there on the site. It's easy to use, and right now, you can get a little bit extra. That's right. Go to the mobile app or underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code PROSSER. They're going to give you a special to use on your first contest and a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PROSSER, and claim your new customer offer. Do it right now, plus a first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Got to be 18 or over, got to be present in the state where it's played, and call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org if you have a problem.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's hard to stop the Tomahawk Chop.
I'm RJ Saunders. Follow Florida State's road to the college football playoff on the Seminole Report.
Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL.
Prosser here. Hey, pick a news source. But the reports are home prices are expected to decline in 2025, even after the election. So you need to maximize your home sales price now before this downturn, and you can do it with the agents proven to sell for top dollar, Chad and Sandy Newman. Hey, perhaps you're worried about selling for less money with a lowball out-of-state instant offer, or maybe you want maximum equity from your home, but you're not sure how. That's why you turn to Chad and Sandy, who have the answers. No required costly repairs. Chad and Sandy are the local real estate experts I trust and recommend for the sale of your home. Tony and Maggie at Jack's Golf and Country Club said, "We recently had a job transfer and we needed to sell fast. With homes in our area struggling to sell inside 100 days, we didn't know what to do. Our worries were solved when we hired Chad and Sandy. Our home sold in 3 days for one of the highest prices ever in our neighborhood at over $1 million. Call the local experts we trust, 904-414-6200 or ChadAndDSandy.com.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. And we are here. It is game week for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They kick off their 2024 regular season on Sunday in Miami, Florida, taking on the Miami Dolphins. Of course, we will kick off the fifth quarter this year on 1010XL, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Dolphins go final. You'll have the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy. You'll have myself, and of course, our head coach, Dave Campo. And Coach Campo always joins us here on Hacker After Dark. Normally, it's Monday night coaching with Campo during the year, but because of Labor Day, we'll do a little Tuesday night coaching with our head coach. Coach Campo, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Hack. How you doing over there after the Florida loss?
Oh, I just don't know if I could be better, Coach, to be honest with you. That was a lot of fun. I told the story earlier, so I go to Epcot on Sunday to try to clear my head, get away from sports for a little bit. I saw more Miami Hurricane shirts than I ever have down there. There were Go Canes chants all throughout the streets of Walt Disney World. Hey, but you know what? Right on. Good for them. They came into the swamp. They annihilated Florida. Mario Cristobal and the fellas, to the victors go the spoils. I know you, having your Miami ties, you were probably pretty excited to see that.
Well, to go along with you, I've been wearing my Miami jersey around, and it's been 40-something years. So it isn't like I've worn it around for 40 years. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Florida. They still have a ways to go, but I think Miami has made some inroads here with Mario Cristobal.
Well, if there wasn't enough pressure on the Jaguars anyway, I think Florida fans and Florida State fans, for that matter, are going to need their Jaguars to do something on Sundays, because Saturday afternoons may be long for both programs. And, Coach, we're here. Opening day, Sunday, September 8th in Miami. We'll talk about the Dolphins. We'll talk big picture, but a guy like you, as a head coach, a coordinator, an assistant that's spent decades in the NFL, how much of a big deal, how exciting is opening day of a regular season?
Well, it's really exciting, and it's a little nerve-wracking, to be honest with you, because you never know what's going to happen in that first. It's the first time everybody is together in a meaningful ball game as a team. When you have new guys on the roster, which both teams do, you don't know how they're going to perform in the first one. And But it's an exciting time, and it's a kind of a culmination. And I think both teams go into the game pretty optimistic overall, with pretty good confidence.
Our head coach here on Hacker After Dark is Dave Campo. You get him every week here on 1010XL. Coach, it was interesting. I'm not sure if you saw this, but the Hunt show that they put on Jaguars.com, which is a really good behind-the-scenes look at the Jaguars, kind of the inner workings. They put it out about every month on the Jaguars.com website. They do a great job with that. They showed Shad Khan addressing the team in the team meeting room as training camp was getting underway. And he addressed the quote that he had in the local media that this team needs to win. It's time to win. And he told the players at the introduction to training camp he was not misquoted. It is time to win here in Jacksonville. That is the expectation of the owner of this team, obviously stemming off the way last season ended. Interesting that, he would go public with something like that, but, you obviously worked for a guy in Jerry Jones. You know all about expectation, and there certainly is an expectation on this Jaguar team now from the owner.
Well, you just stole my answer. He's using a little bit of Jerry Jones psychology here, and rightfully so. He's put a lot of money into this, team, which, as an owner, you've got to be willing to do that. If you're going to, talk the talk, you got to walk it as well. And I think the one thing he's proven to this community is that that the Jaguars are very important to the community, but they're much, much more important to the community when they win. And I think, after the way they finished last year, to be honest with you, there's no way that they should have finished that way. They're a better football team than that. I think they've improved the football team this year. So, I think it's a directive that they better take to heart. And I think this team has a little bit of a chip on its shoulder. And I think that's something that he said that adds a little bit of fire to that, to be honest with you.
Coach, you and I spoke right during the cuts last week. Some had come in, some had not come in. And since that time, whether it was Elijah Cooks or DJ Coleman or Austin Trammell, obviously we talked about Braswell and Trey Flowers and Terrell Edmonds. I think all of those guys ended up on the practice squad, which is good, right? They were able to get back a lot of guys that we thought should be on the 53 anyway. But the one that stood out to me, Coach, was the edge rush position. Again, they're going into a year with Joshua Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker, which is great. But then really Miles Cole, a seventh rounder. I guess Eric Armstead's going to play outside. Maybe they can play Mason Smith and Roy Robertson Harris outside a little bit. I mean, what did you think of what they did at the edge rush position there with the final cuts?
Well, I was a little bit surprised from the standpoint that I really thought that DJ Coleman was going to make the team, and I thought he would be a guy that in situational football could really help them. But the problem that he has is he's a little bit of a tweener. He's an outside linebacker, defensive end combination guy. He's really not a true defensive end. But, back in a while back, somebody told me that they had spoken with Trent Baalke about the end position, the outside position, and they said, well, it's Armstead. So I think in the back of their mind, they've had Armstead as a guy that's going to be an outside guy most of the time, especially on early downs, or even on third down where they can move Walker inside and get a little bit of – that may be Walker's best position is pass rushing from the inside. And Armstead being an older guy probably feels better out there where he doesn't have to deal with the double teams and that type of thing. So Miles Cole is a guy that you just can't let go. From what I saw of him, Hack, he's got traits that you don't find. He's big, long, quick, good hands. Obviously he's young. You don't want him out there much, but, you want to develop him and keep him going. The other advantage you have is with this new, the way they're doing this practice squad with the numbers of guys, they can get a guy back on if they have a problem pretty easily. The only problem is if somebody selects them. But you've got a pretty good chance. In the old days, if you cut a guy, you're probably going to lose him. So I think they're going in with the idea that those two outside rushers are going to be the guys. Armstead's going to be number 3. And then Miles Cole or moving one of the other D linemen outside is going to be the other answer.
Former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Dave Campo, here with us. A little Tuesday night coaching with Campo here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, of the final 53, I believe the number was 21 guys on the line of scrimmage, either O-line or D-line. They kept a lot of big physical men. And I wonder if that's in direct result to what happened at the end of the year last year. 21 on the line of scrimmage between the O-line and the D-line seems like a high number. Did that surprise you at all?
No, it really doesn't surprise me. I think that the game is more and more based on, winning up front. And I think that those guys, one of the things I always kick back to when I was with the Cowboys in the years that we were really successful, we had 7 or 8 defensive linemen that could play at any time and not lose, the physicality, the ability to rush the passer, all those kind of things. So I'm happy that they did that with the D-line. The offensive line, it's a product of what happened last year. They've been in a situation where they've lost guys during the course of the year. They've got some guys that they want to keep developing. I'll be honest with you, Van Lanen probably outperformed some of the starters during the preseason. Now, obviously, it's against backup guys a lot of times, but he had a great camp. So I'm happy. He's a guy that when it first started camp, he wasn't even on anybody's mind. So I think they've improved up front, and I think that's something that they have to show when they line up this weekend.
Coach, you've been a defensive coach in the National Football League for decades. You are the person to ask. On Sunday, you got to figure out how to stop Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And if that isn't bad enough, with Achane and Mostert, 2 guys that are very fast and scored a lot of touchdowns. We know Tua back there as well. I mean, with a relatively young secondary, right? I mean, you got Tyson Campbell and Darby, but then you're going to have, whether it's Jarian Jones or Monteric Brown or DeAndre Prince. I mean, what are your thoughts on how to try to contain that Miami vertical passing game?
Well, first of all, it comes from affecting Tua. And I think the one thing that we really haven't seen Nielsen's defensive package to this point. The only people that have seen that have been the guys in the walkthroughs and the guys in the practices where the media wasn't there or the fans. So I think you're going to see a little bit more of the ability to pressure guys. And that's something that I think is going to be really important, because I don't think with the speed that they have at Miami, to just line up and rush 4 all day is not going to get it done. And when I say, added blitzes, I'm talking about being able to affect protections. And I think that's one thing I saw from Nielsen last year with Atlanta. And I really think you will see a little bit more linebacker defensive line combinations. We call it, in the old days, they used to call it a bat package, where a linebacker will jump up into the gap and then he'll attack outside against the offensive tackle, kick him, and let the outside rushers come up inside. And those kind of things we didn't see at all from our defense the last 2 years. So I'm excited about that. I think the thing that's going to be the key is that they're going to have to stop the run early, because they're going to have a chance to tee off against him where he can't get the ball off quick. And, on first and second down with play action and this kind of thing, you can get the ball off quick. So you're probably not going to get quite as much pressure. But if you can get him into 3rd and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10s, then all of a sudden now he can't get the ball out immediately. He's got to wait for those routes to open up, and that's where I think we've got to make some hay.
Final moments with the head coach, Dave Campo. You get him every week here on Hacker After Dark, and beginning Sunday, you'll get him on the 5th quarter, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Dolphins go final. Coach, on the offensive side of the ball, the Jaguars get a little bit lucky, I guess. No Bradley Chubb for Miami. He starts on the PUP list coming off an injury. Jalen Phillips came back to practice, the other edge rusher for Miami, on August, I think, the 15th, but he's coming off an Achilles. We'll see if he's on any sort of snap count. So from that perspective, you would think the offensive line should fare pretty well against the edge rushers, particularly without Bradley Chubb out there, which should give Trevor a little more time to find whether it's BTJ, Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, et cetera, down the field.
Yeah, I think they've improved their pass rush as a group. If you look at the optimism of Miami, I really think that not having Chubb is a big deal. They added Campbell, Calais, which gives them some leadership and kind of like Armstead does for us. Phillips is coming off an injury. Chop Robinson now hasn't done much in the preseason. So I feel good about our ability to hang in there. But the interesting thing about this game, first of all, it's going to be a tough ball game. We all know that. But it's a very similar situation down there to the Jaguars. If you look at the overall Miami, they're unsure of their defense because they've got a lot of new players over there and a new defensive coordinator. They're excited about their explosive offense, which probably gives them a little bit of an advantage over us because I don't know that we're quite as explosive offensively, but I think we're good enough to score points. And then they've had injuries to their pass rushers and the concern with their offensive line. I think that's a bigger concern for them than it is for us, to be perfectly honest with you.
Talking to people in Miami this week, normally in September at 1 o'clock, they'll get Buffalo or New England, and that gives them a clear advantage. A team from up north having to go down there and play in that heat. I don't think it's going to matter this week, right, Coach? I mean, Florida's Florida. It's been plenty hot here in Jacksonville. I don't think from that standpoint the Jaguars will be at much of a disadvantage traveling 300 or so miles south.
Not at all, because I really think that the Jags did a good job this year of getting their guys out in the heat. And I think that was something going back to the old days with Del Rio. We didn't have an inside, we didn't have an inside facility. Going back to the Cowboys, Jimmy went from California to Austin to get in the heat. So I think it's important that the conditioning will be good. I don't think that's much of a disadvantage. They still got to play football. And the perfect example was last night with Florida State. Everybody said BC was going to be in trouble because of the humidity. It didn't work out that way.
Final moments with the head coach, Dave Campo. All right, Coach, leave us with this. Keys to victory. We'll do this every week with you. What needs to happen on Sunday, either offensively or defensively, that allows you, Leon Searcy on the fifth quarter to have a lot of fun on Sunday night? What needs to happen for the Jaguars to win?
Well, first of all, we've got to pressure Tua, as we talked about. And I think that's probably the biggest key in my mind. Also, we've got to be able to expose their offensive line in the running game. We've got to stop the run and force them into those third and longs to get that pressure on Tua. On offense, we've got to be able to handle the rush game ourselves so that we can get into the packages that allow Thomas and Gabe Davis and Kirk to be able to get those deep crossing routes off play action coming off the running game. I think those two areas are the key to the whole thing. I think we're similar to Miami from the standpoint that we've got a couple of outside receivers that can run. And so we've got to use that speed effectively in the ball game as well.
Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL, and 2 hours after it goes final. The head coach, Dave Campo, the Pro Bowler, Leon Searcy, and yours truly will have another year of the fifth quarter for you to recap the Jaguars and the Dolphins. Coach, we finally kick it off on Sunday. We'll recap it next week, and I will see you Sunday night for the fifth quarter, my friend.
Yes, sir. I'm really excited about it, and let's go Jags.
That's right. Sunday night, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Dolphins go final. Leon Searcy, Dave Campo, yours truly will have another year of the fifth quarter for you. We are certainly looking forward to that. Hopefully we're talking about a Jacksonville Jaguar victory, but make no mistake about it. The first month for the Jaguars is in the conversation for the hardest first 4 games for any team in the NFL. You're playing 4 playoff teams from last year, and 3 of them are on the road. at Miami, home Cleveland, at Buffalo on Monday night, at Houston. That is brutal. Tua, Deshaun Watson, Josh Allen, C.J. Stroud. Hello, Ryan Nielsen and that new defense. I mean, that's a tough putt. You give me 2-2 right now in the first four, 2-2 right now. I take it every day of the week. To me, that's your goal. Split Miami, Cleveland, split Buffalo, Houston. Get me to 2-2 through the first four, and I think you're in great shape. Is 0-4 possible? I think 0-4 is more possible than 4-0. I'll tell you that. I think 1-3 is probably more possible than 3-1. I'm going to settle on 2-2, and that's where I hope the Jaguars are. Denmark, am I overstating that? 4 playoff teams to begin the year, 3 of which are on the road. I mean, you would take 2-2 all day, right?
Yeah, 2-2 would be pretty good. 3-1 would be great.
3-1 would be great. 4-0 is a pipe dream, I think. But yeah, it starts Sunday with Miami, a good Miami team. Tyson Campbell, Ronald Darby, Jarian Jones, Andre Sisco, Darnell Savage. Here comes Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle right out of the gate. We'll see. It'll be interesting. Let's talk more Jags. Let's talk more NFL. And let's talk a little college. Before he was the original 55 for the Jacksonville Jaguars, my buddy Tom McManus was a star linebacker at, you guessed it, Boston College. The Eagles go into Tallahassee last night and just absolutely wipe the floor with Florida State. Tommy Mack was in attendance at Doak Campbell Stadium. We will talk about the experience. We will talk about BC. We'll get his thoughts on Florida State. And we'll obviously talk Jacksonville and Miami. My buddy Tom McManus, former linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars, next Tuesday night. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's all about picking winners.
Yes, it is.
Make the best picks and win a pizza party from Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park.
Who wants pepperoni?
The 1010 Weekly Pick'em Contest is brought to you by MyBookie. You pick 'em at 1010XL.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Blue for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
A customer called DuckDuckRooter saying they had some nasty stuff backing up inside their home. So we went with our camera to look inside their plumbing lines. And sure enough, tree roots in the sewer line. Need to see what's blocking your lines? Call our team to locate the issue and provide solutions to resolve it. 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. DuckDuckRooter, your fully insured and certified plumbing contractor, residential and commercial.
Universal Roof and Contracting has been protecting Florida homes from the elements for over 30 years. Call Universal Roof and Contracting today for a free roof inspection and get 15% off your roof repair or replacement. Plus, flexible financing options and payments as low as $115 a month. This offer expires September 30th. Call 855-ROOF-HELP.
License number CCC 1330747, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Go inside the huddle with our QB, David Garrard.
Hey, I know if you give me time, baby, we can do whatever we want.
And get into the head of an NFL signal caller. Mondays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Brought to you by WaterboyJax.com on 1010XL.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
If you're searching for a new fence installation, challenge yourself to find a fence company with more positive online reviews than Superior Fence and Rail. With over 3,000 reviews and a 4.9 out of 5 review range, Superior Fence and Rail is, well, superior. So take the online challenge or let their professional team show you what superior service looks like. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Baseball is back. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, takes the field this season at 1-1 Financial Ballpark as the AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins. Tickets start at just $5, fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids run the bases after every Sunday game. JackShrimp.com. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable, family fun.
Hello there. Brendan from Play It Again Sports here to congratulate all the parents for surviving another summer. The kiddos are back to school, and you know what that means? Sports are back. But don't fret. Play It Again Sports has the gear you need at prices worthy of excessive celebration. From sluggers and shooters to clappers and benders, Play It Again Sports can turn your kids into goats. Stop in today on Merrill Road near 295 or online at playitagainjacks.com.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
Welcome to ABS, Advanced Business Solutions, your local print management partner and home to Xerox copiers. From IT management to VoIP phone systems, Advanced Business Solutions is the right name to know.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Boy, it's a great time of year. The Jaguars and the Dolphins to kick off the NFL regular season on Sunday. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. College football, a lot of surprises already, including whatever's going on in Tallahassee. Florida State now 0-2. They lost to Georgia Tech last week. They lost to Boston College last night. I know a lot of people listening right now not all that happy about that, except this guy. I know this guy was very happy about that. Former Jaguar linebacker. You hear him all over the 1010XL airwaves, including every Friday on Jaguars Today. And, of course, a former Boston College Eagle, my buddy Tom McManus. Tommy, how we doing, man?
Hacker feeling pretty damn good. I'll tell you what's going on in Tallahassee. They're licking their wounds from that ass whooping last night is what's going on. And I'm not a crap talker, Hack. I'm not, because you can always come back to bite you. But I'll tell you what, Billy O'Brien and what he's doing with Boston College. Granted, it's one game. You never know. Florida State could have been off, but we came to play. I'll tell you one thing that really stood out, Hack, was last year I think they had 18 penalties. This year, only one. I think you can say Bill O'Brien's building a disciplined football team, which is great.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. You were in Tallahassee last night. I know you made the trip over there. I mean, what was What was the vibe in the stadium? I mean, Boston College just dominated that game from start to finish.
I'll tell you, look, it was kind of a weird scene because half their stadium's under construction. And on top of that, their scoreboard didn't work. The sound guy, you could barely hear in it. It was kind of a weird vibe. And even when the chant was going on, the chant from Seminole Nation, it was kind of quiet. So I think Boston College, no disrespect to Boston College's home crowd, but they probably felt like they were at home a little bit because they weren't in front of 85,000. And it wasn't that loud. But let's face it, they came to play. They were very physical from the get-go. They were committed to the running attack. Their quarterback, Castellanos, that guy got out of Dodge. I don't know how he got out of Dodge sometimes. He's absolutely magical with his feet. And they got the job done. And granted, look, Florida State's not very good. Pretty overrated, if you ask me. That quarterback hack, man, he had like 3 good passes. The rest, he was off. And the ones he did connect, the guy was wide open. But he couldn't hit anything.
The crazy thing, Tommy, and look, you were obviously on the Boston College side of things, but as you know, a lot of people listening are Florida State fans tonight. Boston College just ran the ball down Florida State's throat. I mean, how demoralizing is that for a defense to give up 4, 5, 6 yards a pop, and then Boston College broke some late, but I mean, 270 yards on the ground? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's domination, man. I mean, that's what it is, and it's just a big offensive line going to work and staying committed to that run game. I thought the offensive coordinator did a good job keeping Florida State off balance with their run-pass ball. But, look, I think at the end of the day, BC ran the ball, and Florida State could not run the ball. I had a little success through the air, but not much. But overall, just a great performance up front by Boston College.
It was a great start to the week for you. Again, Tom McManus here with us, former Boston College Eagle. He took in the game last night, the win over Florida State in Tallahassee. Let's hope your good luck continues into Sunday, the Jaguars and the Dolphins to kick off the Jaguar season. Tommy, you were down at training camp a bunch, man. Enjoyed talking with you during camp. And from your observation, just your thoughts. Year 3, Doug Peterson, it appears to be the deepest roster. I think it's probably the best roster that Balky has assembled in his 4 years here. Just in totality, what's your thought as we head into the season?
Well, I tell you what, I was very happy to see that they went back to a little old school practice and act. Last year wasn't very physical. Granted, they're working hard, they're running around, they're running a lot of plays, but it wasn't physical at all. There was no violence in the game whatsoever during training camp a year ago, but not this year, man. They banged a ton. You can see it even from the beginning. They were getting after it early in camp, even without pads on. So, look, I do think the talent's there. I thought they had enough talent last year. I just thought their psyche was all whacked and screwed up, and they thought they were better than they actually were. Let things slip away, but not this year. I think, look, I'm a big believer in camp. That's where you build your grit. You know what I mean? You build that mental and emotional toughness, because camp's supposed to be tough. Camp's not supposed to be easy. You're supposed to be through the rigors of camp. But when you come out of camp, that's when you're ready to take on the regular season. And I feel very good that this team's head's in the right place, their psyche's in the right place, and I think Doug Peterson made them earn every inch this training camp. So I'm expecting them to be pretty ready when they take the field on Sunday.
You know, Evan Ingram has been one of the main guys that talking about the collapse at the end of last year. He says we're still, I think he used the term, pissed off about the way the season ended. Other guys have basically echoed that. Tommy, can something like that linger, but in a positive way, the way last year ended? Guys now, even 8 months later, still talking about that, the way last season ended. That seems to be a rallying cry for this team.
Well, look, they should be embarrassed by what happened last year. They had the whole league in the palm of their hand, or at least the AFC for a little while, and then let it slip out. You can give me injury, you can give me all that crap. I don't even want to hear that stuff, because everyone has injuries. Every team, for the most part, has to go through something, some kind of adversity. But to me, look, I thought things were bad early on last year. Just the mere fact of hearing about press clippings and they're believing their own hype, and you heard the hype. I mean, the hype was unbelievable. Settled down a little bit this year, I think. I think Doug wanted it that way. I think that's something that they've got to use throughout the year. Yeah, they're pissed off, because guess what, Hack? I think they got a little fat and happy last year. I think when it was time to put in extra work, some guys did. There's no doubt. I guarantee you Evan Ingram did, because he's a pro. He's a total stud, and I think his performance, I think he cares about it each and every time he takes the field. But you got to have the entire team that way. They all have to be wired that way for the entire football season. What's it going to take for me to be better? What's it going to take for us to win this game? Do I need more weight room work? Do I need more film study? Do I got to get into my game plan more? Whatever it's going to take, to that sacrifice that it does take to win a championship, everybody's got to be behind that and all on the same page. Are they this year? It remains to be seen. But I think like what you're saying, look, after last year, you would hope and you would think that every single member of that football team is going to be zeroed in on not letting what happened last year take place this year.
Couple of more for the original 55 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Former Jaguar linebacker Tom McManus is here with us on Hacker After Dark. Tommy, I want to focus on the defense, but before we get there, the offensive side of the ball, your thoughts on Trevor and the skill position, right? Ridley, Jones, and Agnew are gone. Gabe Davis, obviously Christian Kirk returns, Brian Thomas Jr., even guys like Devin Duvernay and Parker Washington I thought have looked very good. Your thoughts on the offense as we enter the season?
Skill positions, upgrade. Parker Washington's better. Gabe Davis is better than Zay Jones. I know Zay was injured last year, tough to say, but a healthy Gabe, I think, will be a lot better. Brian Thomas Jr., look, he runs some damn good, smooth routes. He's very fast. We'll see if he can have impact at least early on, but I think he will. And Devin Duvernay's better than Agnew, and I loved Agnew. I thought Agnew turned himself into a pretty good weapon, but Devin Duvernay is a polished receiver who can also return kicks. So I think they're better in that regard. I think Trevor's better. I do. I still, I want to make sure that he sees the field. It's never been about his arm, his speed, his toughness, how strong he's throwing the ball down the field. For me, it's all about awareness. Just being aware of everything that's going on, seeing that backside safety, knowing that it's what the down and distance is, where you're out in the field, knowing you don't have to always go for the bomb on 3rd and 1. You take the check down, you take the one that's open. I think he's matured a little bit. He should, because let's face it, $275 million better mature your ass really quick if you're going to be the guy that they expect you to be. But I think he will be. I think his accuracy was better. I think he feels really comfortable. Let me throw this at you. I don't know if you remember this, because it opened my eyes. First team period against Tampa when they came to town. First pass that he threw was a little sidearm going against the grain. If you remember that, you're like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Threw a little confidence in there. I think he is more confident. I think he's got to continue it. I think he's got to continue on working with that chemistry. But look, this is a big year for Trevor Lawrence. I know he already got paid, so you can say, well, is it? Well, it is for the Jags organization. It is for the team. It is for the city, and it is for the fans, because he does have to take that next step. You see all these, and you can take it how you want, but it's pretty accurate. Where does the Jaguars offense look going into the start of the regular season? You see them around midway point, ranked 16, 17, 18. And the reason they say that is because they're waiting for Trevor Lawrence to take the next step. And I agree with them, but I think he will. I think he's got better weapons. I think he'll be better. The question is, as we all are waiting to see, can they protect him from taking the beating that he took last year? By the way, Hack, it wasn't just the injuries. That kid, number 16, got killed last year. Killed. He got hit way too many times. Remember, every Monday, I'm sitting there thinking, man, that kid got hit a ton. That ain't gonna last very well if he has to take that pounding week in and week out. So they got to make sure that the running game's there, which I do think it is. ETN looks good. Tank looks better. But you got to protect number 16 and get him in a good rhythm so he feels confident that he can go from number 1 to number 2 to number 3 in those read progressions and have time to do so.
One of the great things about you is you don't sugarcoat anything. So let me ask you straight up, are you confident in the offensive line?
Not yet. Not yet, no. I mean, they got to prove it. I think Anton's awesome. I think Mitch Morse is an upgrade. The rest got to show it. Look, I like Cam, but, which Cam are we getting? I thought Ezra in the last game against Atlanta was very physical. He knocked some backers on their back. He got, linemen moved out of the way. I thought that was better. Sheriff, I'm pulling for this. I don't know why I'm pulling for him. I just like him. I like that he's a tough guy. I like that he plays through pain. I like that he's trying to do everything he takes. But, man, getting beat on an inside rush cannot happen ever again. So that's got to be shored up. So I don't know. Look, training camp and preseason is all great. We all feel great about it. But you got to put something in perspective, Hack. Most of their success wasn't against the other team's first team.
It wasn't. Yeah, it's a good point. They only allowed 2 touchdowns in 12 quarters, but again, they saw very, very few starters out of Kansas City, Tampa, and they saw no starters out of Atlanta. So, no, you're spot on there. Yeah. And that does lead me to the defense, right? I can't have Tom McManus on without talking about the defense. Ryan Nielsen's getting a lot of praise. I like him. You obviously have a much better perspective. What's your thought on Ryan Nielsen?
No, I like him a lot. I like his philosophy. I'm much more of an attacker than a read and reactor type of defensive player and a defensive fan. So I do like that. The test is going to be huge this week, as we all know. I mean, hey, batter up. You got Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Thanks a lot. And then a ton of speed it back. That'll be a lot of fun to chase those guys around on Sunday. But no, I like Ryan. And I finally, when he first said it starts with my quarterbacks, I was like, what are you talking about? Then you see that it does, because they are very physical at the line of scrimmage. They're trying to dictate what that movement's going to be like off the line of scrimmage from the opposing wide receivers. And then, look, at the end of the day, though, you can have all that in place and feel great about all of it. But if you don't get the work done up front by your defensive front and your defensive front seven, it's not going to matter who your secondary is, because they're going to have a long time covering down. But I do like him. I think he's a fresh breath air, of fresh air. Caldwell was he was a zone guy. He was a read and react zone guy that didn't have much pressure. You can't be a zone guy without pressure. It just never works. So I really like this kind of attitude, this kind of play call. But you know what, Heck? I'm a little still, reserved, because I want to see it. I want to see that they've upgraded the interior of the defensive line. I think they have. I think Mason. I put Mason Smith as my starter. I would. I'd say, let's go, kid. Let's roll. You're still going to put in Hamilton. You're still going to put in RRH and those guys. But those guys got a lot to prove, too. The last two especially that I just named, they weren't that great last year. I mean, Roy was probably the best, and he was only okay. We know Hamilton had issues, but he wasn't very good. The interior of the defensive line, man, I mean, mid-season and on got their butts kicked. So, is it going to be better? I think it will be. But again, I got to see it. I got to make sure. I'll tell you one thing in the preseason they didn't do very well as a starting defensive unit act. They didn't stop the run very well. Mm-hmm. And again, it's preseason. You keep it in perspective. I'm not jumping off the side of the building for that one, but they better shore that up, because Miami's going to run the football. There's no doubt. They are going to try to slam it down your throats and then hit you with big plays. So you better be prepared across the board.
Final moments here with Tom McManus. Tom, final thought. You mentioned it earlier. You start with Tua and Waddle and Tyreek Hill and all that speed in the backfield. They're going to make plays, right? It's impossible to stop them from making plays. Is this a situation where every time Tyreek and Waddle catch the ball, you just make sure they pay for it? So maybe in the fourth quarter, they're not near as excited about going across the middle?
Well, here's the thing. When you say that, make them pay for it, does that mean we're going to give them what they, give them, time to get the throw in, make the catch, and then tackle them? Because I don't see that. They do a lot of crossing patterns. I mean, they do a lot of stuff, misdirection. And again, I think it does start with, if you can make them one-dimensional and not worry about the running attack, I think you got a good shot. But if not, Hack, I don't know, man. Because to me, you got to press them and you got to play over the top. I'll tell you something. I'd probably put Tyson on Waddle and let the other side handle Tyreek Hill and then double him. Waddle's no easy task, but I don't know, man. I don't think any DB can really cover down Tyreek Hill one-on-one. Right. I mean, unless you're into his face all day long. And that's going to be the key. You got to hit him and hit him early and see if you can shake him up a little bit.
It'll be a tall order for the Jaguars. But again, the Dolphins have some injury concerns on their defense, so maybe the Jaguar offense can get some things going as well. Former Jaguar linebacker Tom McManus. Tommy, I know you're on Fridays, Jaguars Today. Talk about the podcast and the television show. Man, you're all over the place right now.
Yeah, I'm trying, Hack, and I got a new one in the works that I'm going to be announcing, I hope, in a week. But catching up with Tommy Mack every now Monday and Friday, starting next week on 1010XL's podcast platform. I'm also, of course, on Fridays with Debs and Fat Tony and Pockets 10 to noon. And then I'm also going to be doing some pregame for the early kickoff show from 8 to 10 a.m. And I start this Sunday with Hayes Carline as we get you ready for the Jaguars taking on the Dolphins. So it's going to be a busy fall, but it's going to be a great fall. And I'll tell you what makes it even greater, Hack. Jags win it, so let's hope they do a lot of that.
Absolutely. Pre-game coverage, 8 a.m. with Tom McManus, Hayes Carline. Of course, Dave Campo, Leon Searcy, and myself will wrap it up on the fifth quarter, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Dolphins go final. Tommy, really enjoyed talking to you during camp. Thanks for catching up, brother. We'll do it again soon.
All right, Hack. Thanks so much, man. Go Jags.
Get a Friday evening full of football fun.
I'm National College football writer Matt Hayes.
The big games, the big matchups.
Get you ready for football Saturday.
It's the Bueller Aaron Plumbing College Kickoff, Friday night at 6. Brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Jaguars football is officially back. Be there for the Jaguars 2024 home opener when they go head-to-head with the Cleveland Browns. Join us as we celebrate Hispanic heritage and take the field at Everbank Stadium for the first time during our 30th season. Lock in your seats now for the 1 p.m. kick by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you back at the bank.
Don't bet the National Football League this season without your VSiN NFL betting guide. Betting previews for all 32 teams, betting trends, VSiN's exclusive in-depth win total projections, and a guide on how to use betting splits to bet and win. Download your free copy of the guide right now, featuring a betting preview of your Jacksonville Jaguars. 1010XL.com. That's 1010XL.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Back to work, back to school. Soon we'll be settling back into a routine. I say don't settle. Mix that routine up with my friends at Awaken 180. Fast, easy, and free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
It's the best time of the year again. It's football season, and with football season here, fantasy football has arrived. And forget the season-long leagues. Underdog Fantasy and the Underdog Fantasy app is the way to go. I've been playing it now for almost a year, and it is just suits me to a T. First of all, it's simple, right? Just choose higher or lower on statistical projections or compete against others in player v. player fantasy games. Either way, there's so many options. There's research there on the site. It's easy to use, and right now, you can get a little bit extra. That's right. Go to the mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code PROSSER. They're going to give you a special to use on your first contest and a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PROSSER, and claim your new customer offer. Do it right now, plus a first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Got to be 18 or over, got to be present in the state where it's played, and call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org if you have a problem.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, this is Bert Cannon with the First Coast YMCA. Youth sports at the Y can help nurture your future athlete's potential and experience the joy of being a kid. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, and fun environment with basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, elite skills training, and more. Best of all, participation in Legacy Youth Sports League is free with your family membership. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass, and he told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjax.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Where is the largest cave in the world? The answer coming up.
Southern Oak Insurance knows that you want to save money on your homeowner's insurance. So why not try some old-fashioned common sense? Ask your Southern Oak agent about our roof replacement schedule. It will save you money.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The largest cave in the world is located in Vietnam. It's called San Dun and has its own river and forest.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Thank you to both the head coach, Dave Campo, and the original 55 for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Tom McManus, for joining me here on Hacker After Dark. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we will head to South Florida. One of our guys down there, Orlando Alzagari, he has been a fixture with the Miami sports media for a long time. He's got the Big O radio show now that you can see on YouTube, streaming it, I believe, 3 or 4 days a week. Orlando Alzagari. We'll talk Dolphins, Jaguars, the Dolphins' perspective. We'll also talk a little bit, of course, about Mario Cristobal, Cam Ward, and the thumping that the Miami Hurricanes gave the Florida Gators on Saturday. So a little Hurricanes talk, a little Dolphin talk. Orlando Alzagari in South Florida comes up in less than 20 minutes. Coming up next, well, there's a big one. Week 3 high school football, Friday night. You'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. Probably the best team in St. Johns County this year against one of the best teams in Duval County. It will be the Bulls Bulldogs. It will be the St. Augustine Yellow Jackets. The head coach of the St. Augustine Yellow Jackets is Brian Braddock. He will join me to preview St. Augustine and Bulls. Again, you'll hear it right here on 1010XL Friday night. We'll talk a little high school ball. Great night of high school ball last week as well. Congratulations to a couple of big winners. I thought Nice made a statement with a big victory over Creekside. Ponte Vedra with a big statement with a win over Bartram Trail. So there were a lot of St. Johns County battles, and we'll have another good one this Friday night when St. Augustine takes on the Bulls Bulldogs. So we'll do NFL talk, we'll do college talk, we'll do high school talk, all sorts of football until 10 o'clock tonight. We're glad you're with us. With Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you. Hacker After Dark rolls on here on a Tuesday evening. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
He is our quarterback savant, and he'll take you inside his mind.
So you can learn more about the science of quarterbacking.
Denny Thompson is the quarterback whisperer. Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Florida homeowners are going to extreme lengths to stay cool this summer.
We sit in front of the refrigerator with the door open and only eat frozen foods while they're still frozen and put ice cubes down our pants. Whoa, that's cold.
But the most popular and cost-effective way can be summed up by a quack. Just call Duck Duck Air Conditioning. For AC repairs to new installations, you too can beat the Florida heat with Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Jacksonville area's AC experts. Trust the Duck to keep your cooling costs low. DuckDuckAC.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Cooking with Prisco.
These things are wonderful. You're going to love it. Have a rolling.
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Meet Zara, talking about his experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
I came to injury care centers because I'm an old football player and some of my old injuries were beginning to catch up with me. I couldn't do what I used to do without having severe pain. I felt the improvements from the BioTargeting almost immediately. Very few places would guarantee their work because, doctors, they say they're practicing medicine, so you're essentially just an experiment. The folks at Injury Care Centers offering a 100% money-back guarantee lets you know that they take your well-being very seriously.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget regenerative therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit GoBioTarget.com today.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Expert Automotive is ready to keep you cool this summer. Right now, get an AC inspection or a system cooling checkup. Your choice for only $19.99. Their gift to you this summer is $50 off any service and a free tire rotation with any service. Their ASE certified technicians can keep your car cool without breaking the bank this summer. Call them at 374-3373 to get an appointment today. Expert Automotive. They never sell greed, only what you need.
Hi Jags fans, Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Boy, there's a big one Friday night coming up on the high school football gridiron. One of the best in St. Johns County against one of the best in Duval County. It will be the Bowles Bulldogs and the St. Augustine Yellow Jackets. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL radio. Let's go out to St. Johns County and talk with the head coach of the St. Augustine Yellow Jackets, my buddy Brian Braddock, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Coach, how we doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Hey, Coach, we're good. Thank you for the time. All right, big one on Friday night. Before we look ahead, let's look back a little bit. 2 victories to begin the year. Obviously, you should be very pleased with your performance to this point.
Yeah, we're super grateful to be 2-0. Like everybody, a lot of good, some things not so good, and just working, trying to get better. I know that's coach speak this time of year, but it's the reality. Early in the season, still putting stuff in, still, we got young players coming along, guys in new spots. So we're super grateful to be 2-0.
You and I talked at High School Media Day, and there was a lot of expectation on St. Augustine coming into the year. Some people would even say maybe you guys jumped the gun a little bit last year with your state championship game run, in that you were maybe a year ahead of schedule, and people were pointing to this year as being maybe your year. 2 games in, do you like where the boys are at with the expectations that you had coming into the season?
Yeah, I guess we're content. I mean, we don't take winning for granted, that's for sure. So like I said, we're grateful to be 2-0, but we're a very different team than we were a year ago. And, I actually think that team might have been more well-balanced than where we are right now. And we lost some really, really important seniors. So, I think that team was a pretty remarkable team, and we've got a lot of work to do before we even can talk about measuring up to last year's team. So, I know we had a great practice yesterday. I know we got some guys in new spots that are getting better, and I know that we'll be tested mightily this week to find out if we've been improving. And it's kind of just where we are, and all the other stuff in comparisons to last year. I guess that'll play itself out over the long haul.
Brian Braddock, the head coach of St. Augustine. Coach, the entire offseason, I'm sure you thought about that state championship game. It was a great game, obviously, between you and Daytona Beach Mainland. Didn't go your way at the very end there. I mean, motivating factor, I guess, is the right verbiage. How much has that motivated your upperclassmen coming into this season?
I really don't know. I think at this point in the season, that type of thing is so far off playoffs and earning your way into the playoffs. And we have a lot of work to do if we want to do that. So I really don't think so. I think it certainly benefits you from a perspective of, you played in big games, you were able to win some big games. But right now, truthfully, I mean, I think that eventually could become part of the motivation, but right now I don't think it is that much. I think it's more just trying to find our way as the 2024 team.
You guys have a lot of really good players on your team, no question about it. Let's talk about your quarterback. What makes Lachlan the player that he is?
Yeah, the most remarkable thing about Lachlan's game is the plays he can make when things break down. He makes some truly special plays when he's got to escape the pocket and ad-lib. And those are things that are hard to defend, So, but no, he's a great leader on our team. He's a steady hand now as a 3-year starter, and we're blessed to have him as our quarterback.
A couple more for Brian Braddock, the head coach of St. Augustine. It will be St. Augustine and Bowles Friday night, a game you'll hear right here on 1010 a.m. It's a game that we love in high school football. I mean, I'm sure you guys love the competitive aspect of it. I know Matt Toblin does as well. 2 highly respected coaches, 2 highly respected programs, 2 very successful programs. I mean, really, Friday night, Coach, is what high school football in Northeast Florida is all about.
It's super exciting. It's a game that we're grateful to play in games like this. It's a lot of fun. We're really excited that it's at home, and really hope our community comes out and supports and is excited for the game as well. And it's just a great opportunity, because when you play somebody like Bowles that obviously has very good players and a very good program, and they're excellently coached, they put pressure on you in every facet of the game. Their offense, their defense, their special teams. and every snap, there's pressure on you, and it forces your team to get better. And so it's a blessing to get to play a team of that quality early in the season, because we know it's going to make us better, and it's also fun to compete against somebody that's really good.
I told Matt Toblin this on Friday night. I'll tell you the same thing. This is a game that you guys, being St. Augustine, you don't necessarily need to play. It's a game that Matt Toblin and Bowles don't necessarily need to play, but it's a game that's wonderful for our area. It's clearly the game of the night. It'll be in competition, hopefully, for one of the games of the year if it lives up to the hype. And that's really great that these kids, you and Coach Toblin and both your staffs, are playing games like this to give your kids this experience.
Well, 100%. I've said it a few times this year that I don't know how well I'm going to be sleeping over the duration of this schedule that we've got ahead of us. But I also know that I've got a lot of kids that, our coaching staff we love dearly, and they're good players and they work really hard. So we'd give them the world if we could. So the least we can do is give them a chance to go out and compete against other really good teams on a big stage. So they deserve that opportunity. And, we got to put, I got to put my own convenience aside. And, it stretches us as coaches too. But no, and 100%, we owe it to our kids to give them these opportunities, and we're excited to do it.
Coach, final question. What are the keys to Friday night? You guys are 2-0. Bowles is coming off a 41-7 win over Trinity Christian. Obviously, again, one of the best in St. John's against one of the best in Duval. What do you guys need to do to win the game on Friday night?
Yeah, it's about the basics. The team that protects the ball better, the team that doesn't give up big plays, will be the team that'll have the advantage in the game. And it doesn't matter if it's two teams that are average or two teams that are people think are good. The truth of football is the truth of football, and that's protecting the football and limiting big plays and generating big plays. So whichever team does a better job of generating explosive plays and taking the ball from the opponent is the team that likely will win the game.
St. Augustine and Bowles, Friday night. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. Brian Braddock of St. Augustine. Coach, best of luck. We hope we're talking to you under the Friday night lights.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate your coverage and everything you do for these big games for these kids.
Get inside the mind of Jags coach Doug Peterson.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't have butterflies.
Coach Speaks. Fridays at 4:05 on The Franchi Show.
And that's why I'm excited.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Custom windows and doors on 1010XL.
Jenkins Genesis of Northeast Jacksonville is now open, and you're invited in as a VIP to tour the all-new facility. Be one of the first 100 people to check out the complete lineup of luxury vehicles by September 8th and see if you can crack the code to win a brand new car. See dealer for details. No purchase necessary. Genesis of Northeast Jacksonville.com. And now open on Atlantic Boulevard. Genesis, where luxury is redefined.
Baloo for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
15,000 workers. I'm Brian Rose from Remedy Staffing. We survey 15,000 blue-collar workers each year to better understand what drives quality and dependability in our workforce. The survey shows when looking for a new job, the initial pay rate, job security, and safety while working are the most important factors for hourly workers. If you're an employer and would like to learn more about the voice of the blue-collar worker, please call us at 904-528-1933.
You've waited patiently, and the wait is almost over. NFL football is back.
That's awesome.
Kickoff week on 1010XL is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
Let the games begin. This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford.
In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or MattDadJacksonville.com.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
It's poker with a purpose. The Hold'em for Life Texas Hold'em Tournament at Blessed Trinity Parish Hall benefits the Women's Help Center with a focus on expectant mothers and newborns. If you'd like to play or sponsor, call 904-868-8873.
Help make Jacksonville safer and play a round of golf at the First Coast Crime Stoppers Golf Tournament, October 21st at Amelia River Club.
If you could benefit from a grief and loss support group, call Haven Hospice at 279-1677.
Having a mentor can positively change a young life right here in Jacksonville. It only takes 4 to 7 hours a month to be a big brother or big sister and change a life forever. Become a big today at bbbsnefl.org.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com.
Atlantic Self Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving, they can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. Are you tired of wrestling with your old shower curtain? Then say goodbye to the curtain chaos and hello to a new frameless shower enclosure. Wago Glass is clear, classy, and won't stick to you like a toddler at bedtime. Plus, it makes your bathroom look bigger and brighter. Upgrade your shower experience and step into style. Call me at Baker Glass and get ready to love your new glass shower enclosure. Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Was there ever a pope who was the pope more than once? The answer next.
Hurricane season is here, and now is the time to ask your agent about your homeowner's coverage. It's time to make the change to Southern Oak Insurance.
Our family protecting yours, Southern Oak Insurance.
Pope Benedict IX, who is 11 years old, is the only person to be named pope 2 times.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Dolphins, Sunday, 1 o'clock down in Miami, Florida. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL Radio as the 2024 NFL regular season kicks off. It was quite the weekend in Miami this past weekend as the Hurricanes put a number on the Florida Gators. Let's talk about all of it with our guy Orlando Alzagari. He's been a fixture in the South Florida sporting community for a long time. Of course, you can follow him with the Big O radio show on YouTube and where you get all your podcasts. And Orlando always joins us here on 1010XL. Orlando, how you doing, my friend?
I am doing great, my brother. Hope you're doing good, Ryan.
We are. It's a good time of year, and boy, it was a good time to be a Miami Hurricane on Saturday. Just an absolute thumping of the Florida Gators. Before we get into the Jaguars and the Dolphins, Orlando, let's talk about the Canes and the reaction in South Florida to what Mario Cristobal and Cam Ward and Miami did in the Swamp on Saturday?
I don't think that, many of us expected some kind of a blowout unless you're a complete homer. We were just hoping that they would go out there and put together a respectable performance and maybe win. And, Ryan, it couldn't have been better. Canes fans have been frustrated for over 20 years. It's been a bad stretch of football for them. And one of the things they hadn't done forever, Ryan, is they don't spend. And that's what changed here a few years ago when they hired Mario Cristobal. They spend now. They buy their coaches and their assistant coaches, and they're doing the NIL stuff, and they improve their facilities, and they've invested. And it's taken a couple of years, and it really looks like Mario Cristobal may have finally turned the corner in year 3 because, man, they looked good on both sides of the football. And Cam Ward looked really, really comfortable considering it was his first game, and his first game was in the Swamp with 90,000. That was a beautiful thing for Canes fans. They've been waiting for that for over 2 decades.
Orlando, we knew the losing coach of that game was going to deal with a lot of stuff, and certainly Billy Napier is dealing with a lot of stuff right now. What about Mario Cristobal? How big a win was that for him?
Oh, that was huge because if you lose this game, Ryan, then you start with the negativity of everything that's gone on the first 2 years. And then, Mario's really not turning the corner. And there was a lot of hype already on all the players that he was able to recruit, the NIL transfers, all that stuff, Cam Ward, everything. So a lot of people said, hey, this is the year where Mario has the talent. He's got to get it done. So he needed this victory, not as bad as Billy. I think Billy needed it even more because he was more on a hot seat coming off from last year, whereas I think people here were like, hey, Mario doesn't have his guys yet. It's been 2 years only. This year and next year were the years that they were expecting them to make that turn, and they finally did it. And now you've got a great feeling because all of a sudden, Ryan, you look at that schedule, and I don't think you'll play in a harder or a tougher atmosphere for the rest of the year. You played in the toughest atmosphere that you're going to play all season long. So this is really, and then you watch what's happened to Florida State in the last week, losing twice, and Clemson didn't look good either. The ACC is wide open for Miami to finally make it to an ACC championship game and win it, baby.
Orlando Alzagari of the Big O Radio Show. He's with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Orlando, final Hurricane thought before we get into Sunday's Dolphin-Jaguar contest. Cam Ward, I knew of him, certainly. I saw him in spurts at Washington State. I didn't know about that, what I saw on Saturday in the Swamp. I mean, good heavens. There may not be a better college football player in the country than what we saw Cam Ward do on Saturday. How thrilled are people in South Florida about the idea of Cam Ward being their quarterback this year?
Oh, I think they're all freaking out because the kid looked like a calm, cool, collective cat the entire time. The moment was never too big for him. No drive was too big for him. No blitz was too big for him. I mean, he was under control the entire time. And just to kind of repeat a little bit of what I said, this will be the toughest environment he's played in all year. And it was his first game with a bunch of new teammates in a new offense. And he handled it like he was a seasoned pro. And while he is a seasoned pro at the college level, the fact that he changed offenses and did everything that he did, I think it was truly amazing. And he can only get better from here on out, really. And they've got an offensive line, something that we knew they had last year because that thing was developing as it is. So, and the Martinez kid looked really special. So with him and Fletcher back there, that gives him a running game all of a sudden. And the tight end, which was, pretty much disappeared from the offense, got, involved in a big time way. And that's thanks to Cam Ward. I think we were all expecting him to play well, but we didn't expect him to play, pretty much lights out. So yeah, right. I think people feel like they've got themselves a pretty special quarterback, and man, in week one, he's already in the Heisman talk, which is just absolutely crazy.
We got a former Hurricane Hall of Famer on here with us, my good buddy Leon Searcy. We'll be hosting the fifth quarter get-together on Sunday, and I can tell you he's a fired-up former Miami Hurricane at what happened on Saturday in the Swamp. Good times for the Hurricanes. Will it be good times for the Miami Dolphins? They begin their season on Sunday against Jacksonville, a game you'll hear right here on 1010XL Radio. Orlando, level of excitement for Mike McDaniel and coming into year number 3 down there. Tua, a brand-new contract. Jalen Waddle, a brand-new contract. What is the thought from the Miami Dolphin fan base about this upcoming season?
I think the questions are about the offensive line. But, overall, these guys, I'm not as worried about the offensive line because these guys know how to coach. I think there's a lot of excitement because of what you just said now to play off of that. It's year 3 for Tua in the same offense. He's never done that. It's year 3 in the same offense for Waddle and for Tyreek and for Teron Armstead and, and for Jackson and for a lot of guys in this offense. It's their second and third years. And so now you're going to see, I think, some growth in this offense, and Jonnu Smith is going to be featured. I would tell fantasy players out there, I think Jonnu Smith will crack the top 5 in tight ends in fantasy this year, a position that if you realize, you look at Mike McDaniel's DNA, where he comes from in his tree, everyone that comes from that tree has the tight end involved in the offense. That has been absent for 2 years. And now I'm excited because I watched Jonnu Smith carry the ball out of the backfield, catching screens, catching every route that's possible out there. There's a kid named Julian Hill that they picked up last year undrafted who has developed, can block, and can catch. Both tight ends will be used. Jonnu will be featured. Their running game, Jalen Wright, they pretty much got a carbon copy of what they have with HN and they have with Mostert. That way they can run the same offense because both guys, Mostert and HN, were run down last year and were banged up by the time he got to the playoffs, as you know. And so they went and got a guy that is like number 3 there, and now they can run the same offense, and he looked fantastic overall. And then on defense, the question is on the D-line with the loss of Christian Wilkins. Now, they did add Calais Campbell, and he'll help out in certain situations, but he can't play the amount of snaps that Christian Wilkins played. So the rotation of other players like Benito Jones and others will be something we'll be watching to see if they have enough to stop, the run. But I'll tell you this, Miami's defense is going to have one of the best secondaries in the NFL. And that's where you got Holland absolutely healthy. Hoyer has been added as a complimentary safety. You got Ramsey on one side and Fuller on the other. They've got a bunch of young corners that are looking really, really good. They've got depth at safety. I think this secondary is going to be one of the reasons why they're going to be a pretty good defense. And if the draft picks start coming through, Chop Robinson and Kamara can get some pass rush, then I think this defense will really come around. Dolphins should be headed for a heck of a season. I think a lot of people are excited about this team. There's a couple of question marks. They need to be answered early on so people can feel good about the O-line or about the D-line.
Final moments, Orlando Alzagari. He's the host of the Big O radio show. He's been a South Florida sports media personality for years. He's with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Orlando, speaking about Sunday in particular, Bradley Chubb is on the PUP list. He will miss the game. Jalen Phillips on the D-line is back from an Achilles. I guess my question at that point is, will there be a snap count for him? And Chop Robinson, the first-round pick. We know about Emmanuel Ogbah. You mentioned Calais Campbell. Is there concern about being able to affect Trevor Lawrence on Sunday because Bradley Chubb will not be there and because Jalen Phillips may be on a snap count?
Hell yeah, of course. And that's why, we got to be honest, man. When you got to the playoffs last year, you didn't have any of your linebackers and both your pass rushers were out. and Holland was playing with two busted knees. And so you were a shell, and X wasn't even himself anymore at that point in his career. That's why he's still a free agent. So yeah, there's a concern. That's why, Sealer's turned himself into a heck of a player, Ryan. Obviously, Calais Campbell will help out, and Agba has had a great camp. I look for him to be a real key in the defense early on. Phillips, they'll have him on a snap count. There's no doubt he'll probably play, maybe only on passing downs, something along those lines. Chop Robinson has looked really good, man. And they play him. This is the amazing part. Inside, outside, they'll play him over the nose, at the nose spot, over the center. I mean, they will do anything. And this kid disrupts everything that he does. Now, does he have great handwork? Not yet. He's got to work with his hands, just like a lot of these young pass rushers. He's got to obviously build up his strength a little bit more. But considering that he's a rookie, he looks pretty damn good. And Mohamed Kamara has been an impressive pickup in the 5th round. I really like this kid. He's got a lot of potential. In fact, right now, he might have more football moves than Chop Robinson at this point, because he's a little bit of an undersized guy, and he had to kind of fight, scratch, and claw for everything he's had in his career, because he's one of those guys that's kind of looked on like, okay, you're not as tall, you're not as fast as some other guys. And so he's had to prove that he's a really good football player. And he's actually shown us that, in camp, as much as you can see, because I've been at this for 34 years, I've been covering it. So when Leon Searcy was playing, and, they used to hit a lot more and used to get a better feel. They don't hit nearly as much, but I like what I see from those guys. And they're going to have to make an impact early on in order for the Dolphins to be effective. That's why I mentioned the secondary, because I think the secondary is going to do a nice job of complementing the front and allowing them to get to the quarterback, because they're going to do an excellent job of covering on the back end. I think the secondary is going to be the key to that defense early on, until you get Phillips and Chubb back closer to 70, 80% towards the end of the season. Because you and I know, Ryan, after these kind of injuries, we won't see the real players till next year. Next year is when you'll see those guys closer to 100%.
Orlando, as we say goodbye, the thought up here is that it's a tough putt for the Jaguars out of the gate. On the road in Miami against a playoff team. I'm curious what the thought is down there about the Jaguars making the trip in for opening day. What's the talk among Miami fans about Trevor Lawrence and crew coming in?
You know what? I'm a huge Trevor Lawrence fan, and I'm a believer in Trevor Lawrence. I thought he was going to be special. Problem is, and I haven't given up on the kid, because, my God, he had Urban Meyer as his coach the first year. Jesus Christ. I mean, that's not going to help. That's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. So he's had to overcome some stuff. I still think he can be a hell of a quarterback. But, Ryan, I'm sure you get it right in your own city. A lot of people have given up on Trevor Lawrence. A lot of people don't fear Trevor Lawrence anymore. Like we did when he was coming out of Clemson, that we said, hey, man, this is a passer that can also run. He's not a runner that is trying to be a passer like some other quarterbacks in the league. No. This guy's a passer that can also use his legs. And we've never really seen him put the whole package together. And if he ever does, it's going to be scary for any defense. And so I think that that's where the confidence comes from right now from the Miami fan base. It's because Trevor Lawrence has not busted out. Tua has been in the MVP talk the last 2 years. That's what I thought Trevor Lawrence was going to do. I thought he was going to be one of those cats that we were going to be talking about being an MVP. And so far, I'm dead wrong. But I haven't given up on the kid. And I think that's where it comes from. I don't think people fear the Jags offense and Trevor Lawrence right now. And so I think there's confidence in Miami that Miami can hold their own at home and should start 1-0. So right now, I think that's where it's at. And it's really all because Lawrence hasn't busted out yet.
Orlando, there's certainly a lot of Dolphin fans up here in Northeast Florida. Tell them all about the Big O radio show and where they can find your coverage.
Well, we're non-daily every day at 10 a.m. on YouTube. On Thursdays, we're on at 3 because we're live at a casino. But I've been doing radio down here for 34 years. And 4 years ago, I said, yeah, we're going the other way, and we're going to start our own platform. And it's been a blessing 4.5 years in that we've been doing it and having fun. We're traveling to Seattle, Los Angeles, Indianapolis, and Buffalo this year to do our Dolphins pre- and post-game shows on the road. We do a Dolphins pre- and post-game show for Dolphin fans every week, and we break more Dolphin stories than everybody else locally down here. So if you can follow us and give us a subscribe to us, we're at Big O Radio Show on YouTube, and you can follow us on Twitter at Big O Show, my friends.
He's one of the best, Orlando Alzagari. Orlando, it's been far too long since we talked. Thank you as always. We'll talk again soon, my friend.
Anytime, Ryan. You know I'm always here for you.
Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
And thank you to Orlando Alzagari, host of the Big O Radio Show. He's certainly one of our guys in South Florida, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. You talk about the Miami Hurricanes getting that enormous win over Florida Saturday in the Swamp. And then, of course, the Jaguars making the trip to South Florida to kick off the year against the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. So we appreciate Orlando Alzagari for joining us tonight. And there was a lot of conversation about both of those, right? We obviously spent a lot of time on Jacksonville and Miami, and that will continue as the week goes on. But we also spent a lot of time on Florida and the Miami Hurricanes, and the fact that the Hurricanes came into the Swamp, basically did whatever they wanted. It said 41-17 on the final scoreboard. The game was not that close, wasn't even close to being that close. And look, I'm a guy that's defended Billy Napier, and quite frankly, I've taken some criticism for my defense of Billy Napier, but I got to eat crow today. That was bad. 8 months to prepare for a season opener, knowing what was on the line for you, knowing what was on the line for Mario Cristobal and Miami, and that's the way that Florida comes out, looking like the junior varsity playing the varsity, and just absolutely getting boat raced in your home stadium to kick off a college football season. That wasn't good, man. That was not good. And there's a lot of soul searching, I'm sure, going on down in Gainesville. And I'm not sure what the answer is, to be honest. But they better figure it out pretty quick, because they got Samford on Saturday before they dive into SEC play with Texas A&M coming in a week from Saturday. Well, that'll just about do it. It has been a very busy Tuesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We hope you guys had a terrific Labor Day weekend, and we certainly appreciate you joining us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, Orlando Alzagari, the Big O Radio Show. He's been a fixture down in South Florida sports for a long, long time. Appreciate Orlando taking time out for us tonight to talk Miami Hurricanes and certainly the Miami Dolphins as they get ready for the Jaguars' arrival on Sunday. Thank you to Tom McManus, former linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, you hear Tommy every Friday on Jaguars Today. He's also a former proud Boston College Eagle. Always enjoy talking ball with Tommy, talking about his BC Eagles and what a win they had last night over Florida State. Certainly talked about the Jaguars and the season to come as well. And it was a little Tuesday night coaching with Campo. Dave Campo will be here every week with me now here on Hacker After Dark. The regular season has begun. Of course, he will also be on the fifth quarter. Myself, Dave Campo, and Leon Searcy will have that 2 hours after every Jacksonville Jaguar game this year. Always love talking ball with the head coach, Dave Campo, and we will do that now every week here on Hacker After Dark. We will be back tomorrow night on a Wednesday, and we will do it all over again beginning at 8 o'clock. I'll be down in the Jaguar locker room tomorrow talking to the guys as they're preparing to travel to Miami to kick off the season this weekend against the Miami Dolphins. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Tuesday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the Blue Crabs? How about my